Hi, I'm Abby from the NHS Health Careers team. Did you know that there are over 350 careers in the NHS and a lot of them use STEM skills? That's science, technology, engineering and maths. From nurses and podiatrists to clinical engineers and physiotherapists, NHS careers may surprise you. There are many roles which aren't typically sciencey but involve lots of STEM skills. We're about to hear from some fantastic NHS staff about what they do and the skills they use every day. And look out for the interactive section at the end of each clip where we'll ask you to reflect on what you've seen. Teachers, you may want to pause the video.
I'm a clinical pharmacist. So basically what that means is that I look at every medicine that a patient has been prescribed by a doctor and I ensure that it's safe and appropriate for the patient.
So I work with children from teeny tiny babies all the way up to 18 and I help them get better.
One of the big parts of my role is I use my scientific and clinical knowledge to help make new laboratory tests.
So I work in a specialist outreach and recovery team, which is a mental health team in the community.
My role in the NHS is as a musculoskeletal podiatrist. That is basically a clinician who specialises in the diagnosis, treatment and management of foot and ankle injuries.
So my role in the NHS is as a mental health nurse, and I'm also employed as an advanced nurse practitioner.
I am a trainee clinical scientist in the area of clinical engineering. So it's a really varied role, but generally I work with lots of different teams around the hospital to manage all of the medical devices in the hospital.
Now that we've heard what these NHS staff do, which NHS job roles sound interesting to you? Teachers, you may want to pause the video here for a discussion.
Primarily, number one is going to be teamwork. You have to work as part of a team within the healthcare service. You can't take everything on with a patient. You have to be able to share ideas with colleagues.
The first one is definitely attention to detail. As a clinical scientist, you will be looking at extensive amounts of very detailed data, and it is extremely important that you are able to pick out any inconsistencies or problems with this data to investigate further.
You need to be quite comfortable talking to people. You'll often need to be talking to different members of staff, different members of the team, like doctors and nurses, as well as your fellow pharmacy colleagues. You'll also need to be comfortable talking to patients.
I think being in clinical engineering, there is a lot of projects that happen at the same time with a lot of different people. So organisation is actually really important.
I think above all you need to be kind to be an occupational therapist.
You need to be able to listen really well, because if you listen to what someone's saying, that can really help you to do your job better.
The second skill would be patience, which is key.
So actually I use a lot of STEM skills in my job. Because engineering is a big mix of both physics and maths and biology.
And the third skill is to be a good problem solver. You need to be able to think of lots of different ideas and strategies.
Now that you've heard more, what skills did these NHS staff have?
One of the most challenging aspects of my role is sort of the sheer amount of children and people that are referred to us and the sort of time constraints and pressures that we are sometimes under.
So sometimes we have to do something called prioritising, so we have to make a list and see who we would see first, and sometimes we can't always see everybody as often as we'd like to because there's just not enough time in the day.
The most challenging part of the role, again, is down to the variety of different cases that you're going to have coming into the clinic. So it's constantly challenging you, it's constantly making you think outside the box, and it's going to be constantly making you want to stay up to date and to also discuss how to improve your care in the future.
You work with lots of different people who work with patients, and they have patient appointments all the way through the day. So finding even 15 minutes of their time can be really challenging to make a project move forward sometimes.
As with any caring role, I think sometimes it can be a little bit upsetting to see people going through a hard time or being unwell or struggling in their lives. And I think as caring people, we always want to help a lot, but I think you've got to remember that you can only do your best.
What challenges did these NHS staff talk about?
Well, the NHS is an amazing organisation with a brilliant reputation worldwide. It provides top quality healthcare to all of the patients it sees, and it really allows me to make a difference in my day-to-day job.
I worked as a support worker for a few years before joining the occupational therapy profession. So I actually had a look on the NHS Careers website myself to have a think about what I might want to do, and occupational therapy stood out to me.
What I additionally really enjoy about working for the NHS is the flexibility of the role. I myself work 5 days worth of hours in 4 days, so I compress my week. That gives me an extra day off to do other things. So I'm also doing my masters at the same time, finishing off in sports medicine.
I get to learn and work with a really big range of very cool things. So like the other day I had to go to an operating theatre to take electrical measurements on a robot that is used in surgery, and we had to check that it won't cause everything to switch off because of an electrical overload.
I guess work-life balance is also really key for any role in the NHS. We can, work all the time and not have enough time for ourselves. And I think one of the key parts of supporting the NHS is around sort of well-being. So it's really important to have that good work-life balance.
I think it has to be that I'm constantly learning. Every single day I learn something new. So you're always required to learn and process more information. And I really enjoy that, and it keeps me on my toes.
So we've seen that there are many NHS roles that use STEM skills. It isn't all doctors, nurses or scientists. What have you learned from this video? If you want to find out more, search for NHS Careers and take our careers quiz to find a role that suits you.